Hi friends, welcome back. So in this video, I'll be discussing about severity of the defect. What is all about severity of the defect in software testing and what are the different types of severity defects available in software testing, and also I'm going to give enough examples as well so that you get a clarity on complete details on severity of the defects. The first we will try to understand what is all about severity of the defect. The severity of the defect can be classified under critical defects, major defects, minor defects, as well as trivial defects. So let's first understand what is all about severity of the defects. Severity of the defects refers to the degree of impact that defect has on the functionality or usability of the application. If there is a huge impact, then we will call it as a high critical or major severity. If it is a impact on the application functionality is very less, then we categorize under minor or trivial. That's how we are going to categorize the severity of the defects based on the impactness that is going to create on the application. So let's understand what is all about critical defect. The critical defects are the defects that causes system to crash or system to loss of data or severe functional failure, rendering the software unusable. When the software becomes unusable and if there is a crash or if there is a data loss or if there is a severe functional failure, then we will categorize those defects under this critical defects. If you taken some of the example, I have given first example in a banking application. If application itself crashes when user tries to access their account information, leading to potential financial losses and customer dissatisfaction. If there is a crash in the banking application, then we have to log that kind of defects under critical defects. If you take an example of second example here, if we are talking about customer relationship management system, if it is fails to save important customer records after we entering into the application, and that means it is losing of valuable data of the customer, valuable data of sales or marketing area, then definitely those defects we have to categorize under critical defects. And the next example is healthcare software application stores a patient's record without encryption. If healthcare data is very crucial and very important as well, and you should safeguard that data as much as possible without having any challenge in terms of hacking that data as well. For that we should adopt encryption. If encryption we are not done for patient record, then that becomes very vulnerable for hacking or exposing the patient's personal information to the external people. That becomes very crucial, and we'll have to log that kind of defects under critical defects. And the next type of example for critical defect is an e-commerce website's checkout process fails completely, preventing user from completing purchases and result in the lost sale opportunities. And we have to log this kind of scenario as well as under critical defect. And final example is, as we discussed earlier, regulatory related stuff we are not managed in our application. For example, in healthcare application, we should manage or we should adopt the regulations such as Healthcare Insurance Portability Accountability Act. If those regulations were not followed in our application implementation, definitely that is a privacy breaches and which is having a legal consequences for the organization. For that, if there is a legal consequences or we are breaching certain contracts or certain legal rules, definitely we should log under critical defects. And the next example is an accounting software application miscalculates taxes, leading to the inaccurate financial reports and potential legal liability for the business. Even that kind of situations as well, we should log the defects under critical defects category. Now we will discuss about major defect. What is all about a major defect? The major defect is a software issue that significantly impacts the functionality or usability or user experience of the application. Although your application might not completely unusable or it is not completely crashing anything, but if there is a significant impact on the functionality, then you should log the defects under major category. For example, the critical functionality or feature which is not working. For example, in banking application, the fund transfer feature fails to complete the transaction, preventing users from transferring money between two accounts. Then that defects we categorize under major defects. But here bank application is working, but only this functionality is breaking. Then we should log under major defect. And the second type of defect is performance degradation. Application is working, performance is also okay, but there is a slight degradation is there, then we should log under this major defects category. If you take an example, a video streaming platform experiences buffering issues, causing videos to pause frequently, disrupting the viewing experience for the user. If you feel or if you face this kind of issues, we should log under major defects category. And the next example is user interface inconsistencies. In web applications, email client, the layout of email varies inconsistently between the different email threads, causing confusion for the user. Even that situation also you should log under major. And if there is a data loss or corruption, even that time we should log this defect under major. There is a deletion or corruption of important documents, definitely we should log under major defects. Sometime we should log under critical as well, because there is a loss of data is happening. Based on the impactness, we should log either under critical or a major. And the next one is cross-browser compatibility issues. Even here as well, if there is a application behaves totally different across one platform to another, or one browser to another browser, or one operating system to another operating system, that time we should log it as a major defects. Again, the what kind of functionality is really breaking is also a matter here. Then only you should log under major defects. And security vulnerability also you should log when there is a vulnerability of unauthorized access to the user accounts or compromising the user privacy or data security. We should log under these major defects. And even the documentation errors or ambiguities, the user manual for software application contain outdated instructions, screenshot. If it is causing major challenges, then definitely you should adopt the major defects here. Then the next type of defects category is minor defects. The minor defects are defects which are having issues that has relatively low impact on the functionality of the application or usability of the application or user experience of the application. While minor defects may not significantly hinder the core functionality of the software, they still affects user satisfaction and as well as overall quality, and we will be logging this kind of defects under minor defect. The examples for minor defects is typographical errors. All the defects which are having spelling mistakes we will be classifying under this typographical error defects, which are minor defects. And even cosmetic UI issues, if there is a alignment issue or image issue or a text issue, we will be logging under this cosmetic UI issues, which is minor defects. And even unused or redundant features. For example, a menu option or button that is present but serves no functional purpose, then even that time we should adopt minor defects for this kind of issues. Even minor browser compatibility issues, we should log under minor defects. And non-critical usability flaws as well, like inconsistency in button placement or navigation flow within the software application, we should log under minor defects category. And low severity functional issues also we should categorize under this minor defects. And the next type of defects we have to categorize is, which is fourth category, which is trivial or cosmetic. That is the fourth category. What is meant by trivial or cosmetic defect means a trivial or cosmetic defect is an issue in the software application that has a little to no impact on its application usability or overall user experience. Here the impact is very minimal or little impact, and these defects are usually aesthetic in nature or superficial in nature and do not significantly affect the core functionality of the software. Then we will be logging under trivial or cosmetic defects. If we take an example, as we discussed, even spelling or grammar error will be categorized under trivial, and even incorrect coloring or styling will be logging under this category. Alignment issues, inconsistency in the font sizes, unused redundant UI elements, inconsistency in the UI aspect, all these things will be categorizing under trivial or cosmetic defect.